What if everything you knew about learning was wrong? What if the reason you struggle to focus, forget information quickly, or feel mentally exhausted has nothing to do with intelligence? Because neuroscience has discovered something shocking. Your brain is constantly changing. Every thought, every habit, every mistake, every distraction physically rewires your brain. And today, we're going to uncover 6 neuroscience-backed secrets that can help you learn faster, focus deeper, and unlock your brain's hidden potential. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your attention is collapsing, why sleep controls memory, why mistakes make you smarter, why exercise changes your brain, and why your phone may secretly be damaging your ability to learn. This is the neuroscience of faster learning. Your brain is always rewiring. ITSELF, your brain is not fixed, it is alive, flexible, adaptable. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to physically change in response to experience. Every time you learn something new, your brain creates tiny connections between neurons. These connections are called synapses, and the more you repeat something, the stronger those connections become. Imagine walking through a forest. The first time, it's difficult, branches block your path. But if you walk the same route every day, eventually a trail forms. Your brain works exactly the same way. The more often you repeat a skill or idea, the easier that pathway becomes. That's why musicians improve. That's why athletes react faster. That's why repeated habits eventually feel automatic. Your brain literally rewires itself around repetition. But there's another shocking truth. Children learn faster than adults. Why? Because younger brains are far more plastic. Their neural pathways form rapidly. That's why children can absorb languages effortlessly. That's why many world-class performers started young. Serena Williams started training as a child. Ludwig van Beethoven began practicing music at an early age. Their brains adapted during critical developmental years. But don't panic. Adult brains can still change dramatically. The process is simply slower. And that means adults need something children often don't: intentional learning systems. Which brings us to the first brain hack.
Every thought,
attention controls,
every habit,
let
every
ing.
mistake, every distraction.
Attention disappears. Learning disappears. Your brain cannot deeply encode information without focus. And unfortunately, modern life is destroying our attention spans. Think about your average day. Notifications short. Videos, messages,
Your brain is constantly
ads,
changing.
scrolling,
Your brain is
music,
constantly changing.
multitasking.
Your brain is
Your
constantly
brain
changing.
is constantly switching contexts. And neuroscience shows this creates measurable attention deficit, not imaginary ones. Real neurological consequences. The human brain evolved to focus deeply on one thing at a time. But social media trains the brain to seek novelty every few seconds. Dopamine.scroll, dopamine.scroll, dopamine.scroll over and over. Eventually, deep focus starts feeling uncomfortable. That's why people struggle to read books now. That's why students reread paragraphs repeatedly. That's why long-form learning feels exhausting. Your attention system is overloaded, and without attention, memory formation weakens. Because attention acts like a spotlight for the brain. Whatever receives focused attention gets prioritized for learning. Everything else gets ignored. So how do you rebuild focus? First, remove distractions during learning. Put your phone away, not face down. Not silent. Away. Second, practice focused attention. Meditation has been shown to improve attentional control over time. Third, train deep work. Your attention span functions like a muscle, and the more you train sustained focus, the stronger it becomes. In today's world, attention is becoming a superpower. Exercise makes your brain armed. People think exercise only affects the body, but neuroscience says movement transforms the brain. Regular exercise improves Memory
nothing to do with
speed, and
intelligence.
it can even
It has
increase the
nothing to do
size
with
of brain
intelligence.
regions
It
involved
has
in
nothing
memory.
to do with intelligence.
Exercise
It has
also
nothing to do
stimulates
with
the growth
intelligence.
of new brain cells. Think about that. Movement literally upgrades your nervous system. And here's something even more surprising. Just 20 minutes of moderate exercise can improve attention for nearly 2 hours afterward. That means better studying, sharper thinking, faster processing, stronger focus. Why? 'Cause exercise increases alertness. It activates your sympathetic nervous system, also known as the fight or flight system. This releases chemicals like adrenaline and norepinephrine, and those chemicals make the brain more awake, more prepared, more focused. That's why you often feel mentally sharper after movement. Even simple exercises help. Jogging, stair climbing, jumping, repellents. Exercises your brain was designed to move. And when you stay physically inactive for too long, mental performance declines. So, before studying, move first. Because a sharper body often creates a sharper mind. The dangerous truth about STR is that stress is complicated. Too much destroys learning, but small amounts can actually improve it. When you experience mild stress, your body becomes more alert. Your brain pays closer attention. That's why deadlines sometimes improve performance. Your nervous system becomes activated, and activated brains learn faster. But chronic stress is different. Long-term stress physically changes the brain. It damages learning and memory systems. It weakens focus. It harms emotional regulation. And over time, it can leave the brain exhausted. That's why burnout feels so mentally destructive. Your nervous system was never designed to remain in survival mode permanently. This is why recovery matters. Your brain needs cycles: focus, stress, recovery, performance collapses. And one of the most important recovery systems is sleep. Sleep is memory STO, or GM. Most people think learning happens while studying. But neuroscience says, learning continues during sleep. Inside your brain is a structure called the hippocampus. Think of it like temporary memory storage. Throughout the day, experiences get recorded there. But those memories are fragile. During sleep, the brain transfers those short-term memories into long-term storage. Ext hippocampus. IGHT arrow ext long.
Or feel
Term memory
mentally
storage
exhausted,
hippocampus.
or feel
eToro ixt
mentally
long-term memory
exhausted, or
storage.
feel
Extipe
mentally
bladder.
exhausted, or
Sleep.
feel
That
mentally
process
exhausted.
fails. That means all-nighters are one of the worst possible learning strategies. You may temporarily remember information, but your brain never fully consolidates it. Sleep also clears waste from the brain, restores emotional balance, focus, and poor sleep damages nearly every cognitive function. Memory weakens, attention drops, reaction time slows. Mood worsens. Your brain cannot perform optimally without recovery. And yet modern culture glorifies exhaustion. People brag about sleeping less, but neuroscience shows the opposite. Sleep is not laziness. Sleep is biological optimization. If you truly want to learn faster, protect your sleep like your future depends on it.
Forget information quickly.
Because neurologically, it does. Repetition builds the BRA on the brain. Does not care what you want, it cares what you repeat. Every repeated action strengthens neural pathways. That's why repetition is the foundation of mastery. When you repeat information, your brain interprets it as important. It starts investing energy into strengthening those circuits. But repetition works best when spaced over time. This is called spaced repetition. 2 shorter study sessions across different days outperform 1 long cramming session, because sleep between sessions strengthens memory formation. This is how elite learners train, not through endless hours, but through strategic repetition over time. Consistency always beats intensity. Breaks secretly boost LAA or NEAG most. People think breaks waste time, but breaks are essential for memory. After learning something new, your brain subconsciously replays that information. Scientists observed this in skill learning experiments. Even short breaks triggered accelerated mental replay. Sometimes 20 times faster than real life. Your brain continues practicing even while resting. That's why breaks improve performance. But there's another reason breaks matter. Fresh memories are unstable. If you immediately overload your brain with new information, older memories can get disrupted. Scientists call this retrograde interference, which means non-stop studying can actually reduce retention. So after intense learning, take quiet breaks. Avoid distractions. Tricks your brain. Avoid immediate overloads. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is pause. Failure is how the brain evolves. Nobody likes making mistakes. Failure feels uncomfortable, embarrassing, stressful. But neuroscience reveals something fascinating. Mistakes activate learning systems inside the brain. When you fail, your brain releases chemicals linked to attention and neuroplasticity. Your nervous system becomes highly alert. It begins searching for improvement. That discomfort exists for a biological reason. Your brain is trying to adapt. But most people make one huge mistake. They quit after failure, and when they avoid difficult experiences, they train the brain to fear discomfort. Growth requires challenge. That's why testing yourself works so well. That's why difficult practice creates stronger learning. And when you finally succeed after struggling, dopamine reinforces the neural pathways involved. Your brain rewards progress, which means failure and success both contribute to learning. So, stop fearing mistakes. Your brain was designed to evolve through them. Your brain is one of the most powerful systems ever created, but nobody teaches us how to use it. Now you know the truth. Learning faster is not about talent, it's about understanding the biology of your brain. Focus deeply, move your body, sleep properly, repeat consistently, take breaks, embrace mistakes, because every single day, your brain is rewiring itself into the person you are becoming. The question is, what are you training it to become?